Salutations everyone, and welcome to What Mattered, the show where I tell you what mattered in the news this week. GDC was this past week, and a whole lot of different Steam machines and the Nvidia Shield and all kinds of VR headsets, and I'm here to tell you why none of that shit matters. There was plenty to talk about at GDC this week, but the big ones were Steam machines, more PC, console, hybrid platforms, as well as new VR headsets, new iterations of previous versions, or new companies coming into that category. And I've talked about, a couple of these things in the past, and my views on them are not going to change. Virtual reality technology is nowhere near where it needs to be to become part of the gaming experience. Some people have found really nifty things to do with it, and some people things look really cool, but the headset themselves, what they're capable of, and what they're not capable of, it doesn't match. It does not match to what we need as consumers to actually, pony up the money to buy these ridiculous looking things. The technology isn't there yet. It's just a fad, just like 3D was, and how VR technology was in like the late 80s, early 90s. Remember Virtual Boy? This is, of course, much more advanced than the Virtual Boy, but it's just another fad that will come and go, as well as these Steam machines. Now, Nvidia announced their new Nvidia Shield, which is their Android-powered PC console living room device, and it just looks like all the others. We've seen all kinds of computer console hybrids, or Steam machines as most of them are being called, but some of them are like Android based, like the Ouya and other things that have sold amazingly well. The prices from these machines go anywhere from like $480 to like $5,000. So there's a wide range of, how much these things can cost and what they are capable of. But to me, I don't know what consumer base would be interested in these things. I don't know who the market is for. It's not for console gamers, and it's not for PC gamers. I don't get what they want. They have this wide range of price ranges and graphic capabilities, like PCs, except the prices are just drastic, and the ability to play some games, and mostly just like a small handful of games, but people are still excited for that because, oh man, the graphics are gonna be so good. Oh, you can play on weird fucking controllers that make no sense. Like, why would you ever want to use this monstrosity? The controller isn't broken. You don't need to redesign it with this like trackpad-esque BS. That's not as good as a mouse, and it's not as good as a actual controller. So I don't know who this controller is for. I don't know who these consoles are for. They can't do what PCs can do, and they can't do what consoles can do. I don't know where the market is. It doesn't have any advantages over PC gaming. PC gamers will be glad to tell you how superior their stuff is to whatever it is you got. And it doesn't provide what a console can give, is like the wide array of titles, being able to play everything. If you have a console, everything works on that console. Absolutely everything. And that's not the case with PC gaming. That's not the case with these wide ranges of Steam machines or, Android-based platforms or what have you. So it can't do what PCs can do, and it can't do what consoles can do. So I don't understand why anyone would want this and how they think that this is going to be successful. Because guess what? It's not. It's going to crash and burn just like the Ouya and all of the other, small markets, console-esque platforms that people are trying to get out there. It's like, oh, we're going to avoid the console wars and give the gamers what they want. Oh, we're going to have, this frame rate and these graphics. It's like, well, how are you going to get the games on this? What's the, subscription fee for online gaming? What's the install base going to be? How are you going to get all of the games that all the PC players and all the console players are getting? Because you're not going to be able to get both, let alone one of them with a small install base, non-legitimate, online multiplayer capabilities. They're just not proven. They're broken models that really don't have a market for anyone, I would say. So let me know what you guys think. Who actually wants this stuff? Because it's worse than a PC and it's worse than a console. And they're more expensive than consoles. And more expensive than some PCs. So I don't understand what all this hype is about. Because this stuff ain't gonna sell. It's not. It's just like VR headsets. Everyone is making their own, but they ain't gonna do shit. A new trailer hit for the next Dragon Ball Z movie, Dragon Ball: The Resurrection of F, meaning Frieza. Frieza's back and he's got a new form and he's like he has a gold amiibo special edition or some shit. I don't know. You know, people are excited. Frieza was a big thing as like the storyline that got me into Dragon Ball Z when I was a litlin. And the Battle of the Gods wasn't spectacular from my perspective. I haven't, you know, watched Dragon Ball in quite some time. Didn't watch any of that Kai series stuff. But I do have fond memories of Dragon Ball, and I do like, you know, some of the storylines and some of the characters. Battle of the Gods was a little silly, and hopefully this, you know, revival of Frieza will be different. Of course, Frieza has a final form, so, you know, which kind of makes sense because Goku beat him when he first became Super Saiyan, and now he's got Super Saiyan 2 and 3 and 4, but 4 is not canon, and now he can be a god if he pulls all of the other Saiyans in. It's just okay, whatever. Cooler was supposed to be stronger, and he defeated him in a little, you know, 3-part mini-movie. And he's defeated plenty of others since, so, you know, Frieza's back to say, hey, I'm still awesome, and you're gonna have to beat me again. So, you know, Goku's gonna do that. But, you know, probably someone else will kill him, like always happens. And in movie news, we have some deets on the Toy Story 4 storyline. It's supposedly not going to be connected to the Toy Story trilogy really at all. It's not going to be a continuation past 3. I don't know where in the timeline it's going to be taking place. But they said, story arc-wise, it's not connected to the Toy Story trilogy. It's still got Woody and Buzz and everyone that everyone loves, so, you know, don't worry about the toys changing. That would be suicide if they did that. But it's not going to be concerning a child very much at all. And it's going to be mostly focused on the toys and a romantic relationship between 1 or 2 or more of the toys. It's apparently a rom-com. A rom-com with kid toys. So, very different from the trilogy. As I've stated before, when, you know, this movie was announced, Pixar had no plans on making a 4th Toy Story movie unless they were blown away by a, you know, an idea or a script about another movie. And apparently this was it. They were just like, this is too good to pass up, so let's do this. And they have some of the old guys aboard, as well as some new writers, including Rashida Jones. So this is a very, very different direction for Toy Story to go. They're not focusing on a relationship between toys and children, or at least not very much at all, negligible to the actual story. And there's going to be romantic, comedic aspects. So this, of course, might change in the future. This is all just, you know, very, very pre-production stuff. This type of movie takes a long time to come to fruition. So there might be some changes in the future, or maybe this will be like, man, remember when Toy Story 4 was a rom-com? That was amazing. It could be. Who knows? It's Pixar. It's Toy Story. Like they're all good. So who knows? Who knows? In other movie news, we're getting another remake, live action / CGI in The Rats of Nimh. It was a cartoon movie based off of Miss Frisbee and the Rats of Nimh book that probably some of you read when you were in like 3rd, 4th grade. I myself did, and people, of course, have their nostalgia get in the way of, you know, their childhood being ruined, like whatever. There's like, oh, you can't, you know, Rats of Nimh was a masterpiece, you can't change it. And that's a little disturbing to me. I, by no means, am, you know, pushing this CGI live-action Rats of Nimh that's like a prequel or like an origin story with lab rats that become super smart and they hide from humans. It's really dumb. But the fact that people actually liked the original cartoon from, I don't know when it was, late 80s, early 90s, The Rats of Nimh, based off of the pretty good book, Miss Frisbee and the Rats of Nimh, those two are the least connected book and movie adaptation that I've ever seen or heard of in my entire life. I read the book, really liked the book as a kid, saw the film right afterwards. The teacher showed us, hey, want to watch the film? And it was a piece of garbage. The Rats of Nimh, it has nothing to do with the book. They create a villain that in the book was just, I disagree. And now they have magic, and it was just, oh my god, it was so bad. It was a piece of shit. It was just a piece of shit. They ruined it and made a crappy movie by itself, even if it wasn't a faithful adaptation. It was just a bad film. But of course, anyone who saw this as a kid, it's like important to them that it stays shitty or something, or they leave it alone. And just, there's nothing about this story that's good. It's just, oh my gosh, I hated that cartoon. And to have this, you know, Alvin and the Chipmunks Smurf BS with like lab rats, I can't even. A little bit more news coming out of GDC. At PAX East, starting on the 11th, there will be a playable Smite alpha on the Xbox One. We know that the beta is supposed to come out sometime in April. That hasn't been established. Like I said, you know, before, you could sign up online to hopefully get a code. And this will be the first, you know, MOBA, or, you know, popular MOBA. I don't know if you can count Happy Wars, even though I liked Happy Wars outside that, you know, pay to win one model. But it's the first big MOBA coming to a console, and I think it's going to be kind of a big deal. I want to get into the beta myself. It's third person and not that top-down looking nonsense that doesn't, you know, really, you know, connect with me. I think this could be a really big thing, and it will, you know, just start a line of MOBAs on console, and I think that that's just going to be a thing. It's inevitable. It's inevitable how huge that they are on PC, and Smite seems to be the best translation for console gamers to get into MOBAs because it's from the third-person perspective, and it doesn't seem too complicated from what I'm saying. Well, none of the MOBAs are complicated necessarily. It just wouldn't work if it was that way because of the structure of said game type. But I think this is going to be a pioneering move. Of Smite is going to be the first, and who knows if any other will make a console generation, or what I think might happen is a brand new MOBA will be made specifically for the consoles. So, you know, I think the market is definitely there, and Smite is going to blow it up, and we'll see what else comes in to fill that void. Anywho, the Blowfish, that is what mattered for this week. If you would like to know what matters in the future, you can hit the subscribe button below, and I will see you guys next time.